Because there's one name that I am dying to see in the UFC, and that's Dakota Ditcheva.
What a fighter.
Yeah.
What a fighter.
Talk about the women's
Can you imagine her
division needing a superstar, and talk about a perfectly packaged, talented, gorgeous, eloquent, respectful, good, like literally checks every single box, and she's right there. And she is a flyweight. And can you imagine the matchups that she could have in the flyweight?
Experience, because it doesn't make sense. I've just beat Santos very easily.
Dakota Ditcheva will kill your entire UFC division's Dana. That's not clickbait. That's the warning. UFC commentator Laura Sanko just dropped. The Violent Cinderella is undefeated savage and already being called the superstar. Women's MMA desperately needs. And the scariest part, she hasn't even set foot inside the UFC octagon yet. Laura Sanko said, "For me, it's Dakota Ditcheva. What a fighter. Talk about a women's division needing a superstar. She is a Violent Cinderella. Bring her to the UFC as soon as you possibly can." That's not some fan on Twitter. That's Laura Sanko, one of the UFC's own voices, flat out telling Dana White, sign Dakota Ditcheva now, or watch the UFC's women's divisions collapse. Dakota Ditcheva is undefeated. She's been running through opponents in the PFL like a buzzsaw. She's got the look, the violence, the marketability, and now the biggest hype machine in women's MMA. The PFL knows what they've got. They're polishing her up to be their golden ticket. But here's the issue, Dana. Every time Dakota knocks someone out in the PFL, she's making your roster look weaker.
Y'all do not know me. I feel like I'm Kobe. That boy really tough on his dozy. Nice. I keep it drinking on.
Let's be real. The UFC's women's flyweight division is shaky. Valentina isn't untouchable anymore. Alexa Grasso, good fighter, but not a pay-per-view draw. Erin Blanchfield has skills, but no star power yet. And that's exactly why Laura Sanko is begging Dana, because Dakota Ditcheva could walk in today and steal the crown. History, that's her mission. And she's not wrong, because the first day Dakota steps into the UFC, she doesn't just shake up flyweight, she puts every single women's division on notice. Strawweight? She'll kill it. Flyweight? She'll own it. Bantamweight? Don't even get me started. Dana, this is your fucking nightmare. Dana White has a history of fumbling women's MMA stars. He botched it with Cyborg. He played games with Kayla Harrison. And now, he's on the verge of letting the PFL turn Dakota Ditcheva into the face of women's MMA while the UFC divisions rot from the inside. Dana Wake Up Laura Sanko just handed you the blueprint. The UFC needs a superstar. The UFC needs a killer. The UFC needs the Violent Cinderella. Because if you don't sign Dakota Ditcheva now, she's going to kill all your divisions from the outside. And by the time you realize it, it'll already be too late. Dakota Ditcheva isn't waiting forever. She's coming for history, and she's coming for blood. So the only question left is Dana White ready to bring the Violent Cinderella into the UFC, or will he sit back and watch his divisions get destroyed?
Dakota superstar, what is up, Fiat? You're the next big thing, guys. Look up your board. Great to see it, Fiat. Strong woman, good girl. Looking awesome. Great to see you. Great to finally meet you. Love it, love it. What's the crack? What are we up there? Oh, yeah, man, I'm walking myself here. Look, as superstar right here, 100%. Love it, bro. Don't hold the great to see you, Fiat. Yeah. All right, man, how are you doing? Nice to meet you, man.
Who's your dream opponent?
A dream opponent would maybe be Shevchenko. Even though I look up to her a lot, I still want to be in her position and be able to beat someone like her. So yeah.
I've had to change a lot, and obviously I've been taught a lot since coming to American Top Team. You know, they've kind of turned me into an MMA fighter rather than just a striker, you know, which I think is super important. I can't just go my whole career relying on my striking. I've got to be able to switch it up. And I think having the good team around me to kind of put different aspects of my game together has kind of leveled up my striking at the same time. So even though, you know, my mom gave me these great genes and taught me my whole career, the added, you know, input from American Top Team has kind of just leveled it up as well.
Conor McGregor just needed 6 words to shake the entire MMA world. 6 words that could change the future of women's MMA forever. And he said them about Dakota Ditcheva, not about Ronda, not about Amanda Nunes, not even about Valentina Shevchenko. No, McGregor looked Dakota in the eyes and called her a superstar. Think about it. This is the same Conor McGregor who built the UFC into a global empire. The same Conor who called his shots against Aldo Eddie Khabib. And now he's looking at Dakota Ditcheva and saying, "You're the next big thing. Superstar. 100%. In McGregor's world, that's not small talk. That's a prophecy."
Your body work was impeccable tonight. I mean, you tore up her calf. She had the scratches and everything on it after a couple kicks, and you basically dropped her with some body shots there. How does it feel to, like, just know that your striking is good in all aspects?
Yeah, I feel like I'm still learning with my striking and kind of figuring myself out, and that's like I have had a body shot stoppage before, but I'm kind of just like getting used to different tools and like getting different finishes, which is really exciting for me. I feel like I've got still so much to learn. Everyone goes on about my striking all the time and how good I am, and I appreciate what they say, but I still feel like I have so much to improve on still. So if people are saying, good things about my striking now, imagine in a few more years when I've stuck in the gym and kept working hard and keep coming up with stuff like this.
So first place, first round finish. Would you say this went exactly as planned?
Yeah, I would say so. But I mean, I think some of the other girls have done just as good, So it'd be interesting to see how the table plays out now and who I face next.
Were you surprised it wasn't stopped sooner? I know you had her in a very bad spot right before the stoppage there.
Fair play to her, yeah. She got back up after the first body shot, and I sank it in, like I felt it straight away. So I'm not surprised that she went down. But she got back up and kept going. But obviously, the second time around, she couldn't.
So it was announced tonight, I don't know if you know, but your next fight will be in Connecticut on June 13th. I wanted to ask, what are your thoughts on that?
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Connecticut. I've heard that word before, but I've not really heard much about it.
All right.
But I mean, I'm just feel very privileged to be traveling to different states in America. This opportunity for me is really exciting, and if I wasn't doing a sport like this, I wouldn't be, presented with opportunities like that to visit different states. So, I mean, to me, it's a bonus to go any state. I'm excited. Yeah.
And he's not wrong. Dakota is 15-0 undefeated. 15 wins, 14 knockouts, 10 of them in the first round. She's not just winning, she's breaking bodies. Ask Lisa Malden, who literally said, "Dakota ended my career." Dakota isn't just fighting, she's ending eras. And now fans are asking the question nobody wants to say out loud. Could Dakota Ditcheva be the one to kill Valentina Shevchenko's legacy? The Bullet has ruled women's flyweight for nearly a decade, but she's older, slower, and Dakota's body shots? They've crumbled everyone she touches.
Digging deep for sure.
If Valentina couldn't survive Alexa Grasso, how the hell is she surviving dangerous Dakota?
We're going to have a UFC fight. We're going to have a UFC fight. Think of this, on the grounds of the White House. We have a lot of land there. We're going to build a little... We're not. Dana's going to do it. Dana's great, one of a kind. Going to have a UFC fight, championship fight, full fight, like 20, 25,000 people. And we're going to do that as part of 250 also. We're going to have some incredible events, some professional events, some amateur events. But the UFC fight's going to be a big deal, too.
And here's where it gets controversial. Conor McGregor knows Dana White is looking for the next female megastar. Ronda's gone. Nunes is retired. Valentina is aging. And Dakota? She's undefeated. She's violent. And she's marketable as hell. The UFC is desperate for that next face of women's MMA. Now imagine this. Dakota Ditcheva versus Valentina Shevchenko, not just in Vegas, but at the White House UFC event. Dana White is teasing. Tell me that doesn't blow up the entire sport. McGregor's words carry weight. When he called himself the champ, it happened. When he predicted knockouts, they happened. And now he said it about Dakota Ditcheva. 6 words that may define the next decade. You're the next big thing, baby. So here's the real question. Is Dakota Ditcheva about to become the female Conor McGregor? Or is this just hype before she runs into a bullet named Valentina? One thing's for sure. When Conor McGregor calls you a superstar, the world better listen. Because history tells us he's usually right.
Yeah, Conor McGregor follows me on Twitter. Like, I was told that as well the other day by my brother's friend. So, you know, things like that are like massive.
Fucking hell, bro. A superstar. What is up, Fiat? You're the next big thing, baby. Look up your nose. Great to see it, Fiat.
Dakota Ditcheva just dropped a fucking bombshell, and the MMA world is spinning. Conor McGregor tried to pull her to the UFC. Dana White's been sniffing around, and fans thought it was a done deal. But nope, Dakota just shut the door and lit the fuse on a full-blown PFL versus UFC war.
That was digging deep for sure. Santos is in big trouble. She's in big trouble. Dakota Ditcheva to the body again for a championship.
She's 15-0-12 finishes, the face of the PFL, the poster on their billboards, the star in their promos, the main event fighter. They push harder than anyone. And here's where it gets controversial. PFL didn't even put her in this year's tournament. The reigning champion sidelined. Why? Politics, matchmaking nightmares, and a looming UFC threat.
You're the next big thing, baby. Look up your nose.
At BKFC 71, Conor McGregor, yes. The Conor spotted Dakota hugged her and told her to her face, "You're the next big thing, baby." Social media exploded. Fans started tagging Dana White. UFC hype accounts called her the future of the flyweight division. People thought this was the start of a UFC fast-track signing. But that's when Dakota's curveball hit.
I'm just like, get me anything, literally. But like you said, you know, it was kind of, it's hard. I get it's hard for PFL. You know, they've put all the girls in the tournament, and then now they need to find someone that's going to kind of give me a good competition. They can't give me someone that's, you know, just kind of signed to the PFL and not really had that much experience, because it doesn't make sense. I've just beat Santos very easily. I think that's another thing that I have to understand is, like, if I'd had a 5-round war with Santos, there would have been a few more people in there that would have been more of a match. But
instead of chasing UFC gold or riding McGregor's cosign into the octagon, she said no. Dakota confirmed she's staying in the PFL. In her own words, "I'm gutted. I haven't had anything just yet. Get me anything. Literally, I left it up to PFL whether they were going to put me in it or not. And now she's booked for July's PFL Champion Series card. No opponent yet, but one thing's for sure, she's not leaving." Here's what nobody's saying out loud. Dakota Ditcheva is PFL's biggest weapon in the women's market. Losing her to the UFC? That's not just losing a fighter. That's losing your brand identity. And Dana White knows it. That's why rumors of a massive UFC offer have been swirling. But if Dakota walks, PFL loses its golden child. PFL founder Don Davis reportedly sat down with Dakota, and let's be real, this wasn't just a welcome back meeting, this was a name your price conversation. If she stays, she remains the queen of the division. If she leaves, PFL's women's flyweight scene collapses overnight. This isn't just about Dakota Ditcheva anymore. This is UFC versus PFL in plain sight. We've seen poaching wars before, but with Conor McGregor publicly backing her, Dana White willing to throw bags of cash, and the PFL digging in their heels, this could turn into the nastiest fighter tug-of-war in years. This isn't just about Dakota Ditcheva anymore. This is UFC versus PFL in plain sight. We've seen poaching wars before, but with Conor McGregor publicly backing her, Dana White willing to throw bags of cash, and the PFL digging in their heels, this could turn into the nastiest fighter tug-of-war in years.
Fucking hell, bro. A superstar. What is up, Fiat? You're the next big thing, baby. Look up your nose. Great to see it, Fiat. Strong woman, good girl. Fucking awesome. Great to see it. Great to find you. Love it, love it. What's the crack? What are you ready? Yeah, man, I'm walking myself in. Look, ass. Superstar right there.
Conor McGregor just crowned a new queen, and it's not a UFC fighter. It's Dakota F. King Ditcheva. The Notorious himself said it. "You're the next big thing, sweetheart." That's not hype. That's a fucking prophecy. And if you've been sleeping on Dakota, wake the hell up. Because this 27-year-old British assassin just sent another undefeated fighter straight to the ER, and she's coming for every woman in the UFC.
Back elbow, and now a left hand.
Let's talk about what Dakota just did to Sumiko Inaba. This wasn't a fight. It was a slow-motion execution. Clinch? dominated elbows, surgical knees, F-King brutal, 3 rounds one-sided destruction, and Inaba wasn't some can.